was amazing. I didn't think as a freshman going into high school I was ever going to hit this milestone, but every year I kept working harder and then eventually hit it now.
I'll hold you down. I'm on my way.
I just knew that if I came out and had these guys by my side, I knew that we were going to do good. I've been doing good this season so far, but I knew that this game meant a lot to these two, so I brought my A game today.
How does it feel to be Berkshire League tournament champions now?
Feels great.
I have no words. No words.
Feels so good.
It's what you live for, bro.
Congrats.
Every day I come out here and I just try and do my job and do what I can for us to get the win.
Craziest shot of my life by far. I mean, I don't know how to say it. I missed 2 last year, and just to get this one, it means a lot. I mean, it was straight butter, but I mean.
I'm sticking with the Berkshire League because this is where I belong right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of The Run-Up. My very first guest on this interview show is a former Northwestern Highlanders basketball player. He had dominated in his senior year and brought this team to the 2018 Division IV semifinals. This man is a very good friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, Zack Penn. How you doing, Zach?
I'm good. How are you, Cody?
Pretty good. It's been a long time.
It's been a while.
Let's get a little bit of a background on you before we go into your career and everything. How did you first get into basketball, and what really sparked your interest when you were young?
When I was younger, I don't know, I always just liked playing basketball, watching basketball, and my brother wanted me to play. So I just remember growing up and playing in the rec leagues at Antolini and just kind of learning basketball from there. And then I guess just watching basketball over the years, I love watching sports. It just made me interested in trying to play basketball.
What kind of impact has, like you said, your brother had a big touch on it? What kind of impact did him and your mom and the rest of your family have on your athletic career? What kind of roles did they play in your success?
My family's always been really supportive of me and playing sports and doing certain things, and they've always pushed me to get better. Because when I was younger, I obviously had knee surgery, and that was really hard for me because you have a surgery and then you don't know what you got to do to get back. But my family always pushed me to get better and get healthy and always grow as a player and a person.
How were you able to overcome those surgeries when you were younger? What did you do differently that you think some people do as they grow up to train to get to this moment?
Well, once I had the surgeries, it was in 4th grade. My friends and families kind of just pushed me to keep playing sports and not quit. And I think a lot of people, when they have surgeries, they get in their head and it's a mental thing that you don't want to get hurt again. And for me, my injury didn't come, my knees injuries didn't come from playing sport. So I think that was a big thing. But with people who get hurt, you got to just grow and realize you got to get stronger and it's going to be okay. You can't not play because it happened. You can't think it's going to happen again.
Who are some non-family members that had inspired or motivated you over the years? Any athletes, celebrities, or just anyone close that really inspired you, motivated you?
So definitely for athletes, growing up, my favorite basketball player was Chris Paul. That's why I wear the number 3. But now that in sports, when you're bigger and taller, you got to wear the higher numbers. So right now my basketball number is 33, but I always try and wear number 3 because Chris Paul motivated me to, that was my favorite player growing up. And then people who aren't celebrities that's motivated me other than family and friends, definitely the people who have trained me throughout like my basketball career, like Arnie helped, and you know Arnie.
Yep, I know Arnie.
He definitely helped out in high school. Chris Kelsey has helped out. There's been a bunch of guys like I can't name. There's so many that have just helped me out throughout my career to try and get better and train me and make me the best player that I can be.
If you had a chance right now to say anything to the people who helped you along the way, like the trainers that you had, the guys who really helped you basketball-wise, what would you say to them right now, and what did they really help most in your game with?
So the guys who have helped me, like the trainers that I've had, have all helped me with different things, whether it be like post moves, shooting, dribbling, all that. But I think like the biggest thing that they've helped, all of them combined, is just like confidence, because that's one thing that I struggled, like being confident and knowing that I can be like the best player. Like they've all helped me and shown, like especially my family too, is like said like just go and do it. Like you have to be confident when you do it, because if you don't have confidence, you're not gonna succeed.
Let's get to your time at Northwestern. So you were actually not immediately on the team. The story is you were cut in your freshman year, and then you managed to come back next year, and you were actually, I believe, on the varsity bench.
Sophomore year, I was just on JV.
Okay.
And then junior year varsity bench.
Okay. What did you do differently to make sure, like, in that off season, that you were able to get to the team the next year?
So right after I got cut, like that was one of the hardest moments of my life. Like basketball was what I always wanted to do. Like you get cut because I don't know, you didn't play good enough in the tryouts, and I was ready to just not play basketball. Like I was like, this sucks. Like how could I get cut? Whenever I thought I was good enough. So then my brother, my mom, my whole family, actually not just my brother, my whole family, like got me to join a league and play hard and train, and just like every day like that they had practice, like I would still be practicing, like obviously not with them, but like I would be working out every day to try and get better, so that when sophomore year came and I made the team, even if I wasn't on varsity, like I could be on JV and show like who I actually was and like that I should be on the team now.
You, along with 6 other guys during the senior year for you, you guys had the task of leading Northwestern to the BL title, to everything that season. What made that group of guys so special, and how were you able to, bond so well on and off the court with them?
So, all of us played basketball together growing up. Like, all the guys from New Hartford played basketball together. All the guys from Barcampton played basketball together. And then once we got to high school and we started playing, like, we had an AAU team that all of us were on the same team and then in the fall of our senior year, like, before the season started, we were playing in fall leagues all together, getting better together. And, like, I think that just showed, like, the experience that we have together and, like, the willingness for us to put in the work together. And, like, not a lot of teams are, like, able to give up the ball. Like, 4 of our starters averaged, like, 10-plus points. Like, we weren't all in the stats. Like, we just wanted to win games, and whatever. If someone scored 30 points that game, and just give them the ball and let them score 30 points. I think we were just very team motivated.
Tell me about the connection that you have with your senior co-captain, Ben North. What made you two work so well together? Like, what really, like, was able to let you two become so destructive together on the court?
I think off the court, being best friends with him just helps us on the court together, because, like, we just know each other's game. Like, he knows where I want the ball, I know where he wants the ball, and, like, just the little things on the basketball court make the biggest difference. Like, if I know that he wants to catch the ball on the wing, like, I'm going to try and get him the ball on the wing. And if he knows I want to catch the ball at the high post, he's going to give me the ball there. And kind of just our biggest thing together was, like, Ben loves to run the floor. You obviously, when you watch games, Ben's leaking, going to get a layup every single time. And for me, I love to be able to get the rebound and just go. Like, and not a lot of coaches like when the big man does that, but if Ben knows that I can do that, him and Mike could just run, and I could just get the rebound, and they trusted me and dribble the ball up the court, and I think that's what really made us the best right there.
Going back to the BL tournament, Due to an off-court incident, you guys had ended up missing a couple key starters in Michael Lee and Jay Riola. And it kept them out until after the BL championship, which you guys played the Warriors and ended up losing in overtime.
Yeah.
How big of an impact did those two have the entire year, and would history, like, in your mind, have been rewritten if they were able to play in that BL title game?
Obviously, you look back and you want them to play in that game, but the guys that played in the game, like me, Ben, Newman, Chris, Levi, Casey Weingarten, Pat, all the guys who played that game, like, played their heart out. And, like, we all played our heart out every game, but, like, that game was different. Like, you could tell we all put everything in to win that game. Not just for ourselves, because we can't be, I mean, I wasn't really mad at the guys. Like, they messed up. It happens. Like, we wanted to win that game for them and for us. And, like, I think looking back at it, yeah, we probably could have won it if they were there, but you never know. We lost to them in the beginning of the year with them, so then we put up a fight without them. Like, it was just a tough situation, and I mean, we all rallied together with them, and then they came to the game and they cheered us on. And I think, like, that game was just completely different, and we can't look back and say what happens, because it happens.
No, you guys definitely went far in the state tournament, which actually you guys got to the state semifinals against I think it was Colby Cathedral. I think that was the name of them. I forget it every now and then. They were the last team that was in your guys' way to the title game, and even though you guys were unable to pull it out because that was a very tough team and a tough game on the road, when you look back on it, what kind of effect, like, does that have on you? Like, going back, looking at the history of that game.
That game hurts a lot because all of our goals were to win the state championship, and we really thought we could do it, and, like, we put in everything we had to do it. We can't make excuses. We didn't play our best game. Like, we had turnovers. We played a little scared. Like, we weren't making shots. This is a new environment, and I think looking back, like, it just makes us all upset because you obviously want to win that game and make it to the state tournament, because no Northwestern team, I don't think, has ever made it to the state tournament or the state final. And if we do it and we're the first team, I think that is even more motivation when we win that final game.
All right, so, like, what is your favorite memory from, like, your high school career, like, besides going to the championship games? What is one thing that you wish you had personally done different as well?
So my favorite memory, like, for personal reasons, like, was probably the game against Chippewa. Like, I'll never forget that game. Not even to be cocky, like, I just played really well that game. Like, I had 29 and 17, like, put up my heart out for that game so we could make it to the final of the Berkshire League tournament. If there was one thing I could do differently, I probably would have wanted to dunk in the game. I tried once. I never really tried. I kind of just thought it wasn't that big of a deal, but looking back, I wish I had dunked in the game because it would have been a really cool experience.
It's definitely something that, like, a lot of guys, like, nowadays, like, I don't know if you still have followed up on the BL at all.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of guys nowadays that have started throwing down, and it makes me wonder, like, where all the athleticism came from, like, you guys and, like, even, like, further back to now, like.
I don't know. I feel like it just wasn't, like, a thing. Like, Jay could dunk. I could dunk pretty well. Jay could dunk pretty well, like I said. Newman could sometimes dunk. Liam was able to dunk sometimes. Like, all of us had the ability to, but, like, we kind of just never did it. Or, like, I feel like there probably was times we probably could have, but we didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where it came from either. I was watching and I was like, all these guys are dunking. I was like, why didn't we do that?
It's very fun to look back on. So now we're gonna take a look at your Southern career so far. So, like, When you first stepped onto the college scene, how long did it take for you to like bond with your teammates and like the rest of like the staff as part of the team?
So I think honestly, it was pretty easy because like if you're on a team, it's like a family, and like Southern, like that's what they stress. Like you want to be a family, and if we're actually going to make that happen, then everyone has to be a part of it. And I think like me going on to the team, like meeting the coaches and the players, like it was just instant. Like they accepted me in and like wanted me to be with them is what I feel like. And people have told me like some of the players were like at first it was a little hard because like you kind of just come onto the team and then it's weird. But once like I played with them and like showed who I was and like showed what my game was, they like trusted me and knew that I could actually be like a helpful part to that team.
Tell me about learning from Coach Scott Burrell. What is one thing that he's been great at teaching you, like as like an individual skill, and what does he do well with like the entire team?
Individually, he's helped me learn that like I can score. Like he wants me to be confident and wants me to score the basketball, and he knows that I can. But he stresses like do it from your spot. Like I'm not going to catch the ball like 5 feet behind the 3-point line and shoot it, or catch the ball 5 feet behind the 3-point line and go by someone. Like get in post, dribble a shot, catch it, rip by, like do certain things that I'm good at, that he's told me I'm good at, and like he trusts me to do in certain situations, like score in my spot, and he knows that I can do that. And then for the team, he just stresses that he wants us to work hard. Like that's his biggest thing. Like we have to go in every day and compete and bring our all, because if we don't, then are we really getting better?
Who has been like your favorite team to play against during the season so far at Southern? And like, are there any teams that you know definitely make you play a lot harder than usual?
Definitely New Haven, University of New Haven, because that's our crosstown rival. It's just like Northwestern versus Gilbert. Like we go into that game and the stands are packed. The fans and college students and everyone who's there is just screaming, and like it's so loud in both gyms because we play them twice. And like that, when we play in that game, everyone just plays so much harder, and it's just so much fun to play in those games.
What would you say so far is like your favorite part about the college basketball experience?
I think just honestly like traveling and like going to play at these different places, and like my favorite thing probably has been playing at Gamble when I got to play at UConn. We played in an exhibition game against UConn my freshman year, and I played like a minute or two in the game, but like that was just like walking out from the tunnel when we got there and just like seeing Gamble. It was just the greatest experience because like growing up I wanted to play for UConn. Didn't get the opportunity to, but I got to play on their court, and I think that was just like my favorite memory from school so far.
That is awesome. All right, so so those are all the real questions that I gotta ask, but I do have to know the answer for two more. What do you have to say to your family, friends, and to the rest of the Rundowns fans about what you're up to in the present day, and what can we expect from you in the near future?
So in the present day, I'm working a lot, but I'm putting in a lot of work for basketball because, I want to be great, and all the workouts that I'm doing, I'm playing basketball just to get better. And I think in the near future, you're just going to see definitely a whole new attitude of me trying to be like the best that I can be and like trying to succeed all that I can at Southern.
Well, Zach, I definitely wish you luck, brother. Thank you so much for joining me in this interview. It was awesome getting to, know the backstory. And I know that the run-up is going to be a huge success now that we had a big star start us off. So thank you so much for joining. Are there any final words that you got?
Thanks for having me on here, Cody. It's a pleasure to be able to speak with you and like get interviewed by you because I watched some of your stuff and I always wanted to be on here.
Well, hey, you finally got your spot, so it's awesome to have you. That's gonna do it for this episode. Again, thank you so much, Zach, for being with us. And the first episode of the run-up is officially over. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.
Peace, boys.